Science.
Excuse me, can we calm down here? It's 5:35, calling me in, you can join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, nothing under a proclamation, so we'll go on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions? None, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, Don?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Nothing under public comments or business, so moving on to new business. Introducing our new KDOT area engineer. So Brad, would you like to?
Yes, I was contacted last week by our new area engineer for KDOT is Wes Moore. He'd asked if he could come and update the commission on some projects that they have pending for KDOT for the First Street corridor, and just answer any questions that that you may have for him. I think he also would like me to give him an update on the First and Oregon project as far as where that is, but I'll let Wes come on up to the podium and let him take his part.
I do have a very tentative plan sheet of some sidewalk improvements at Iowa Street.
Okay.
Thank you. Guess I'll do the intro part first. As Brad said, I am Wes Moore. I've worked with KDOT in their planning and programming division before in Lawrence, and I've been in the Horton, Kansas office for about 3 months now in that role. I've taken Mike Hageman's place, who's now in Wamego, still as an area engineer for KDOT. And we have plans to do a mill and fill on US 73 through town and beyond town. And as part of that, KDOT likes to upgrade any pedestrian facilities to meet the Americans with Disabilities standards. As they, if we maintain the road, we're supposed to maintain the other features of the road as well. And at Iowa Street, there are some pedestrian crossings. We don't have approaches in all directions there. What I've handed you is basically a proposal to replace the curb ramps as they are now, but the current locations don't meet the current standards in terms of slopes and truncated domes, the detectable warnings that people can feel with their feet, and they also have issues with the reach to the pedestrian buttons. So it is not an ideal layout there. What I've shown you, it's best to have curb ramps that kind of aim in the direction you want to go. So the corner, I think it's on the northwest quadrant, kind of the corner ramp. That's not the best situation to have, but you do have some drainage facilities there that get the way kind of the best location to put a curb ramp. So my questions for you were if you had any plans to extend the sidewalks, put sidewalks to other approaches to US 73 there that would affect what needs to be put in terms of, or if you had any drainage work that you needed to be done because of something that's not obvious to me. Or you could just have any preferences. That out.
I know we don't have any drainage work that's planned in that area anytime soon. I know that as far as sidewalk improvements that we've talked about in that area, we have talked about extending some sidewalks around in some areas, particularly probably to the south side of town. I think that one, especially on I think that would be the southeast corner, I believe. I know that we've had a lot of problems getting people to the south side of town right now. We don't currently have any sidewalks. But that is always something that in our long-term plan, that's something that we would like to address, give people a safe way to walk, to some of those businesses that are out there. Other than that, I don't know of any other plans that we have currently at this time.
I did want to make you all aware. There's some programs that have to do with sidewalks. The Safe Routes to School program is partly a planning program, but creating that work to have a plan, having that book of sidewalks in the community. We also have transportation, alternatives funds. Those are competitive things, but if you had a need in this location, other locations, and you want to compete for those funds, I can help make sure Mr. Scott has it. Those where to find those, he probably already does.
I was wondering about, will the highway be marked with a crossing then with it painted?
I'm not an expert on the design, but I think if we have the curb ramps, we also want to put the painted crosswalk in.
Okay,
US 73, I think our maintenance is only as wide as the travel lanes. So if the crosswalk was parallel to US 73, if it was running north-south, it would technically be outside what we maintain. I think on the north side of the intersection, on both sides where crosswalk, well, east-west side of the intersection.
So when is this, like in the spring, or you were hoping to get to it in the fall?
We did a resourcing project about a year in advance. Sometimes we have just one very small sidewalk project and we delay it to make sure that it gets bundled with other projects. Because what you see there is like the only work that would be in this project for 100 miles. From here, so we get a contractor mobilized up here. I would say we would probably try to let this about 15 months from now as a package of other projects. But there's a possibility it might be delayed. Just to make sure that the asphalt work is done when the sidewalk work comes in.
So they're getting the crosswalk painted by, what is it, Red Hawk Drive? The one right by the annex.
That would be, is that Longfellow? Yes.
So something like that's gonna be a while too then. I mean, we haven't, when they resurfaced the highway, a year ago?
When they went through the chip seal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we never got we have lots of kids who cross there at Longfellow Drive to get to the middle school. And we have a crossing guard there, but we don't have the crosswalk. So.
Okay.
But I would guess that
I would have to review your city connecting agreement I know that KDOT has the maintenance for the driving surface itself. There's all kinds of different combinations. It's possible that the painting is something you maintain, but I'm not saying it is. I just don't have it in front of me.
I mean, if that's the case, we could get that done pretty quickly. I mean, that's an easy thing, but it would be nice to get it done just because, like I said, we have lots of kids who cross there.
Is KDOT responsible for the curbs along First Street?
The typical city connecting link is either sometimes the community is responsible for everything and they get paid a flat amount per lane mile. You don't have that agreement. And for US 73, KDOT maintains it. You actually own the right of way. So typically we would only handle the pavement.
And that goes for the signage along the no parking signs and such.
I know we have different rules depending on whether the city has a no parking ordinance.
Okay,
I would just have to review it.
okay. There's just a lot of signs right there on First Street that
There's a lot of signs.
need to be replaced desperately, so.
I believe, from what I understand of the agreement, I believe that the no parking signs, anything that isn't, I believe that some speed limit signs or certain signs that are under KDOT, a lot of the no parking signs, those are for the city to maintain, is what I believe there. And we have replaced some of those signs along First Street. We're still in the process of fixing that project out.
Well, some time ago, we talked about the speed limits. Now that you mentioned that being not the most ideal setup there, is that, I don't know whose responsibility the speed limits are, but that's something we can look at again.
I know that we had talked in the past, just to kind of catch you up here, but we had talked in the past about maybe having a uniform speed limit along 73 highway and through town. And currently we have, I believe, I believe there's two different zones, but we also have a school zone. So we have a 45-mile-an-hour zone, a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and there's a 35-mile-an-hour zone as well. So we have four, but we discussed in the past about having a uniform speed limit through town just to kind of slow people down, I guess, or see what that process would be. I know that we had talked with a previous area engineer, said that we would need to have some kind of I believe it was a study done. And then I believe that was set off of the 85th percentile. Is that correct? Does that sound?
Yes, if for the past 30 years while I've been in this business, kind of let the cars set their own speed limit to some extent. And generally tried to design each of the rural roads appropriate speed limit. Within a town, you do have more say in how that works, but we don't. Drivers all feel like they should be driving 45 and then post it at 30 and create a speed trap. Because then we get a lot of speed differential to get half the people obey the speed rear-ended their accidents with those who are doing that way to them based on the cues they're getting from them. That's why we use the 85th. There's some direction. There's a whole looking at getting away with that. Maybe. But that might have all building parts of the infrastructure to influence people to slow down if you want to post a lower speed. That's not really figured out where we're moving nationwide direction.
So if we did want to move forward with something like that, is that something that we would initiate a state? Would we contact KDOT for a study? How does that process work?
I think KDOT performs the study.
Okay.
Tested.
Okay.
Would be really nice to have a consistent speed.
Yeah, I don't want to do 20, but yeah, I agree with the consistent speed.
Were there any other questions on the comments? I was hoping to get an update from about your project for the
So we have been, as of right now, we have the plans that have been, we have our final plans from our engineers. Right now, where we're at is we are in the easement acquisition phase. We have, hired a company to help us with that, appraise these easements, and once we acquire all 4 easements, I believe, I'm not 100% sure of the entire process, but I believe that's when we apply for a permit, get the project, and then go out to the bidding phase. But right now, we do have the final plans in our possession.
Do those indicate that you need to relocate any utilities?
No, not to my knowledge. We don't have to relocate any utilities because we're in those plans.
Could I just ask you to lean into the microphone just a little bit? It seems like every other word I can't hardly hear when you're speaking.
Cutting out.
Sorry.
Yeah, the microphone's cutting out, so I don't know if it's. I don't know.
I think that's because I'm touching the podium too.
Just stay right where you, don't move, don't move.
Is there any other details you needed for that, or is that enough for now? I mean, it's definitely a slow process.
Yes, it's been a very slow process. It's been a long process, but I feel like we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess. I expect that maybe in 2026, we'll really see a lot of progress on this. I know that KDOT will be involved the entire time, so, any time that I have any kind of updates at all, you'll be the first to know as far as where we're at on this.
I know our traffic people wanted to be able to read the signal plans, and they may have done that. Just on the contact.
I can get you a copy of the signal plans. I know that they were probably reviewed. Is this kind of on the local level, kind of, so they want to know, like our area office in Horton, so they know what's going on. I know that we did get KDOT review probably at a higher level, but just not, but I can get you those plans. That's not a problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question. Forgive me if I heard you incorrectly, but did you say that KDOT is going to be replacing the pedestrian crossings at Iowa and First Street?
Seeing some of the curb ramps there at Iowa Street.
So I guess my question is KDOT willing to help with ours at First and Oregon if that is part of the responsibility of KDOT to do pedestrian crossings, or because we're redoing all of those pedestrian crossings at that intersection with this project?
And this KDOT is making all the existing facilities compliant, and that's triggered by the roadway itself. And I believe there are ramps at work, and I think you have to step over the curb.
I believe that to be true. I know that I think there's one ramp that would be on the southwest corner, but it's not really a ramp, it's just more of a sidewalk. It's not what I would call compliant.
Schedule and your schedule, it's possible something might be triggered there.
Well, definitely First in Oregon, we want to make sure that's all ADA compliant.
Yeah.
Surely that's all part of the plan.
That is all part of the plans, yes. When the new signal system is put in, everything will be up to current ADA standards.
Okay.
And so everything will be compliant.
Has your consultant provided you with an updated construction estimate?
They have, yes. And I can get that to you as well.
We just experienced a lot of inflation on our system over the past 3 years, so didn't want there to be any sticker shock.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Any other questions for me?
Sure appreciate you coming.
Well, thank you for letting me meet with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to item 2, wastewater project final payment. Kind of nice to say that.
Yes. So this is, we have, before you tonight, we have a change order. We have 2 payouts. I have Mike here from Olson, and I'll just let him take over here and kind of explain what all that means, but it's, we are coming to the end of the project, so it is very, very nice.
Thank you very much, commissioners. Thank you for letting me present tonight. Like was stated, realistically, these are two of the final pieces in regards to the 1A wastewater project. The first of which is a change order to basically get the dates correct. And then the second piece is 2 change orders regarding the retainage that has been held from the contractor. We are in the final steps of closing this thing out. And it's just more of a timing aspect of this, but basically we request that you approve those pay requests and then we'll have the city hold this. We're waiting for a couple things from the contractor, one of which is lien waivers from all of his subcontractors. And also just, I know there's been some concern about that. There is also, just in case, there is a payment bond that is in place behind the scenes for the contractor. So if something does not get paid, the city will not be liable for that. And then the last piece of it is we have a couple warranty pieces that are still out there in regards to replacement of a core line pump. That is supposed to be in on the 18th. And then we've got a communication issue that we're working to get resolved. So with this said, this basically brings the project at the north side, at the north lift station, to basically a close. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So we'll pay for the 5% as soon as we approve this, but then we'll hold the remaining 5% until they're all done, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Any other questions? All right, entertain a motion.
Like to make a motion to approve pay apps 12 and 13 as well as change order 4 for the final payment for the North Lift Station Lagoon project.
Second.
To move and second to approve the pay apps 12 and 13 as well as a change order 4 for the final payment for the North Lift Station Lagoon project. Any further discussion? Not Don?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 3, 2026 health insurance, Brad.
So for the 2026 health insurance proposal, we had talked in April. I know it seems like we just went through this, but we had talked about going to the first of the year to kind of align with our fiscal year as well. And so we had reached out to our insurance broker, which is now called One Digital, to reach out to Blue Cross Blue Shield and get a price on the health insurance and dental renewal. The health insurance came in at $457,670.76, which was about a 7% increase over what we were paying from last year for what we had budgeted for 2025. I budgeted for 10% for 2026 at $474,408. Dental rates came in quite a bit higher. It was a 26% increase, $27,619. And when you add together the vision insurance, which is the way that's budgeted for, we budget for vision and dental as well, both together, that would come out to about $38,347.80. This is a little bit over over budget for 2026. At $33,352 budgeted there, but it's still enough under. We've saved enough under our health insurance renewal that I'm not too worried about the increase in the dental insurance. I did also ask for a quote as part of the packet that I was provided for Blue Cross Blue Shield. There was a section in there from Lucent. And what this is a dedicated employee assistance program. This would be handled totally by Lucent. And then what this would do is provide 3 sessions of counseling per employee per year at a cost of $3,500 to the city. And so I know that we had talked in the past about getting an employee assistance program. We've offered these services in the past. We've never really had a dedicated program for that though. And this would make it so it's handled totally by Lucent. It would be completely anonymous. They are the city, nobody from the city would know who's using it, anything like that. And so I think that could help. Like I said, in the 2025 budget, I did budget for 10% this year over the 2025 budget. That does help. Right now we cover 74.5% of dependent care and 100% of the employee. And so this is going to be very much like what we did in April. And so what I'm suggesting that we do is set the baseline at option D, which is our highest deductible, and any premium that's owed by both the employee and the dependents will be picked up completely by the employees at that point if they choose one of those higher plans. And so that is also 74.5%. That's the same for vision and dental as well. And so dental is 100% employee, 74.5 dependent, and same with eye care as well. And so that is how that works. One thing that did come up, I would, as far as what Lucent goes, when I in discussions with, after I've had some discussions, I would like to maybe table that part of it for my recommendation until maybe the next meeting, just because I'd like to see what the price is to add part-time employees there as well. This would be for firefighters, since they're not considered full-time employees. I want to make sure that they also have access to this. I just need to see what that price difference is, if that's something that we can do. And so for that part, I don't recommend that we move forward tonight. I'd like to table that, give you a little more information. It's not crucial for us to move forward with that part tonight. The part that's crucial for us to move forward with is the actual insurance part of it. That way we can get the paperwork in, get all this done, because we really need to start this by the 1st of December. And so right now, my recommendation is that we just renew the quad option from Blue Cross Blue Shield, setting the city's baseline at option D for 2026 at a total premium cost of $457,670.76, and renewing the dental plan from Blue Cross Blue Shield Kansas at a total premium of $27,619.08. And I'm open to any questions that anybody might have.
Quick question on the Lucent. I know you wanted to wait for this, but when I was reading it, it covers 32 employees. Does it cover the family, spouses, everybody?
It does not. And so this would be for employees only.
Only employees.
So this would be only for employees. This is only for full-time employees right now. I'd really like to see what's out there for our part-time employees as well, our volunteer employees.
Mhm.
And so that's the only reason. But to answer your question, it's only for full-time employees, not for families.
And Part D that we have with Blue Cross Blue Shield doesn't cover the mental illness and substance abuse and this sort of thing. Outpatient services, it's fully deductible. There's no copay on that. You have to pay the full.
There's no copay for those 3 visits. After that, then everything would be subject to your deductible. So your own insurance would pick up after that. It's just another benefit that we would offer our employees that we've not previously offered. We have offered, like I said, we've done services in the past. It's just been, we contract through somebody local, something like that.
Mhm.
And there's really no dedicated policy to this. It's something that if we were to move forward with it, I would like to get a dedicated policy, something that's in our employee handbook that says what we're going to do. And that way everybody's clear on what that policy would be.
So on your recommendation, do we need to say anything about the vision plan or?
The vision plan
That's not with Blue Cross, is it?
it's not with Blue Cross, that's VXP, that's a totally separate thing. That doesn't change year to year. I know it can, but right now that one's not up for renewal as of this time. Tonight it's only gonna be health and dental.
Okay.
So do we pay for, do they have an option for vision insurance to take it, or are we just buying it even though some people don't use it?
No, there's an option to take it. I know some people don't utilize that. It's something that's offered. Some people take only vision, other people and don't take health insurance. It's available. I know that not everybody takes it, but most of our employees, I say, do.
I mean, typically, at least on dental and vision, it's normally not 100% paid by your employer. It typically has more of a split per se, because it kind of prevents people from just taking it and then never using it. And that's what we want to make sure that we're doing, is we're not buying insurance that people aren't using. And dental's a very big example of that. A lot of people, it typically, the way it's almost set up when I do the math normally is, if it's 2 cleanings a year, it's about, it costs the employee about $300 to have dental insurance. And what that does is it makes people actually go to the dentist, if you understand what I'm saying. If it's just 100% paid for, then people are not as apt to maybe use it because it's no money out of their pocket. And so that's what I'm going off of is, every place I've ever worked, there is typically a portion that you're basically paying for 2 cleanings out of your own pocket, if that makes sense. You want to make sure that you're not just paying for insurance and people aren't using it.
I can tell you, not everybody takes the vision for sure. The dental, there are some that do not, but that is smaller than the amount that do not take the vision. I don't know that there's anybody that, I don't typically see that has contacts and glasses that wasn't. That takes the vision.
I guess I'm just saying this might be something that we should look into, because it is a substantial amount of money. Between vision and dental, that's almost $1 million that we're paying. So we want to make sure that people are using it, and possibly even look at maybe making people have a little bit more skin in the game to make sure that we are using it.
Yeah, I know that, going forward as insurance costs go up, this is always a difficult conversation to have. But I know that, it's one of those things, and these are conversations that we will need to be, having in the future, as far as, how much the city covers, at what point, do we lower some of those percentages that we pay now? And like I said, I know those are conversations that will need to come here in the future. I do agree that, those are conversations that we will need to have.
That's one of the first things that we dropped at the school, and when funds were getting tight, we dropped health or the vision dental, because it really wasn't that expensive to pay for it on your own. And so that's one of the first things we had to let go. Not fun conversations though. So. Any other questions? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
Yes, I'll make a motion to renew the quad option from Blue Cross Blue Shield Kansas, setting the city's baseline at option D for 2026 at a total premium cost of $457,670.76, and renewing the dental plan from Blue Cross Blue Shield at a total premium cost of $27,619.08.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the quad option from Blue Cross as presented. Any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Moving to item 4, 10, 11,
Can I also get a motion to table the entering into an agreement with Lucent until the next meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to table
entering into agreement with Lucent for the Employees Assistance Program until
The meeting of the 24th of November.
11/24/2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to table a discussion about the employee assistance program till the next meeting, November 24th. Any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Now moving on to item 4, 1011 Kickapoo Resolution 2025-15.
Yeah, so this is, previously we had on a resolution, we had passed, I believe, I can't remember, I don't have it on here, but we had passed a resolution. 1011 Kickapoo was on there for demolition. I believe we were really concerned about their garage at that time. In the process of going through the unsafe and dangerous, the last time we went through that, it was voluntarily taken care of by the property owner. The property is now needing to be sold. And since this resolution exists, that can hold up the process for them. And so what this resolution tonight is about is removing 1011 Kickapoo Street from the demolition list and allowing that sale to go through. And so that is really what this is geared towards.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-15, removing the property located at 1011 Kickapoo Street from the list of properties to be raised and removed by the city of Hiawatha, and that no cost shall be assessed against the property.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve to adopt resolution 2025-15. Any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Item 5, concrete bids.
Yeah, so we did open up bids for concrete work for the 2026 season on November 5th. We received one bid. We had $36 for a linear foot of curb and gutter, $8 for square foot of reinforced 6-inch flat work, $9 for square foot of 8-inch flat work, and $8.63 for reinforced sidewalk. And so I am recommending that we award the bid of the concrete bid for the work for the city of Hiawatha to J&B Contractors for the 2026 season.
Are they the only ones that put in a bid for this?
They are, so they're the only ones that bid, and they've been the only ones that have bid for the last 2 cycles, I believe, as well. And so I have looked into the possibility of just having a renewable contract, something that goes year to year. That way, it's something that we would have to look at, but it's something that we could do. Just a renewable contract, have some clauses there for, termination, how much, they can go up per year as materials do go up. But we have discussed that. It's something that we may discuss a little bit more here in the future before we have to go out to bid again, but that is something that I think could be a possibility here.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to award the bid for concrete work for the city of Hiawatha to J&B Contractors for the 2026 season.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to award the bid for concrete work for city of Hiawatha to J&B Contractors for the 2026 season. Any further discussion? Done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Moving on to number 6, land rent bids.
We also had bids for a land rent contract. This is a 3-year contract. We opened those up November 5th. We did only receive one bid, and it was for Ryan Shockley at a price per acre of $165.50. The city property, the one thing that I'd like to add is that the city property that is farmed can be taken off of the contract for economic development purposes. So like that property at Bruning, if that starts moving forward before the start of the season, we could take that property off the list of property to be farmed. And so that clause does exist in there.
Okay. If we're halfway through the season, they've had things planned and everything, do we have to wait until?
I don't believe that we have to wait, but I do believe that we would have to pay crop damage on something like that.
Okay.
You said 165 per acre, right?
Yep, 165 and 50 cents per acre, yes.
Would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to award the bid for a 3-year contract for land rent to Ryan Shockey at the price of $165.50 per acre.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So move second to award the bid for a 3-year contract for land rent to Lion Sharpie at the price of $165.50 per acre. Any further discussion? Done?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
I,
2026 firework bids.
can I just add one thing? I know that there's been talks in the last couple times we've done this farmland bid about possibly if people could get it for 5 years. I think it just makes a little bit more sense for the farmer. I think if we could possibly next time look at doing it for 5 years.
Yeah, I think that's something that we can definitely look into. Sure. That'd be easy to do.
That in 3 years. Yeah. 2026 firework bids.
Yes, so we also opened bids on November 5th for the 2026 fireworks on the 3rd of July. In total, we received 2 bids. One was from Rainbow Fireworks for a display lasting about 25 minutes, 794 total shells. The second bid was from Pay Up Sucker Promotions for a display lasting 25 to 30 minutes at 2,692 shells. And so this is the same company that Robinson uses, local company here. The cost of the displays is the same. It's $15,000. That's how much we budget for. So we set that baseline. So they come to us with a display. What how long it'll last, how many shells, things like that. It was suggested to us by Jesse Kimmy from Pay Up Sucker Promotions that we purchase fireworks for the 2026 display this year to avoid any possible effects from tariffs, which could affect the length of the display and everything like that. And so just go ahead and buy them now if possible. And I think that's a great idea. And so my recommendation is to award the bid for the annual 3rd of July fireworks display to Pay Up Sucker Promotions and authorize the purchase of fireworks immediately to mitigate any possible problems with tariffs.
How much difference between the shells? 700 for the first one and 2,000 for the second?
2,000 for the second one, yes. 2,692, yes.
That's a huge difference.
I'm not gonna count those. We have the money to pay them this year?
Yeah, so we will have to pay them this year, yes.
Yeah, I entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to award the bid for the annual 3rd of July fireworks display to Pay Up Sucker Promotions. And authorize the purchase of fireworks immediately to mitigate any possible problems with tariffs.
Is there a second?
Second.
You said it's a local company?
This is a local company, so this is Jesse Kimmy. He is from the city of Everest. He does other shows that he performs here, like Fall City, Nebraska. Of course, he does Robinsons every year too. Banner Creek down at Holton, Golden Eagle Casino, Golf, City of Horton, Lancaster, and the city of Everest as well. So very local.
Okay.
Based on their name, I suggest you get that checked.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been saying to for that 3rd of July fireworks display to Pay Up Sucker Promotions. This one will save me. Any further discussion? Donnie, do you want to say it too? I mean, you could.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Perfect. Motion passed 5-0. Item 8, fire department requests. So, chief?
joys of having a bunch of young guys on the fire department. Fire call goes out, you just let them go do their thing. So we go back here. The Everest Fire Department, Jesse Kimmy, they bought a new ladder truck, a new to them ladder truck, and they had put a Facebook post out, just in general, looking for if any fire departments had spare hose, fire hose. We have a lot of hose that was given to the Hiawatha Fire Department from Sac and Fox whenever that fire department dissolved, and it's been sitting in our back storage building. My ask to you is that can the Hiawatha Fire Department donate some of the hose that we don't use, nor probably will we ever use, to the Everest Fire Department?
How much is some?
I talked to Jesse before this. They've already acquired 400 feet. They like to equip the truck out to 1,200 feet of fire hose, just for hydrant placement purposes and everything. And we have well over, I think I counted 2,600 feet. So if we could, divvy up 800 feet of hose to them, I mean, it's just going to sit back there and collect dust and get spiders on it. And it's nothing that this is something that the city hasn't purchased. It was given to us by the Sac and Fox Fire Department years ago, and it's been sitting there ever since. It's never been put on a truck. And we have hydrants in this town that require the 2.5 inch adapters. But Brad, those are very, very few and far between. 95% of the hydrants in this town have the 5 inch adapter, and that's what we have our trucks equipped with. Mm-hmm. And we already have 2.5 inch fire hose on our trucks. If we go to Everest or if we go to Robinson or Horton, we already have that on our trucks. So this is stuff that, and like I said, we'll have over 1,000 feet left over.
Say help them out as much as you can.
I think we need to pay it forward.
I'm well blessed to be able to have a well-funded fire department with a lot of resources. I just thought it would be nice if we could help them out.
Can we park some of our apparatus in their new fire station?
I'm sure I would be better.
Do we need a motion for that or just
Yes,
consent?
please.
Thank you.
I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I guess to
Donate.
donate 800 feet of hose. Fire hose. To was it again? Everest Fire Department. There we go.
So second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to donate 800 foot of fire hose to the Everest Fire Department. Any further discussion? Don?
All favor?
Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you, Patrick, for thinking of that. You said it's definitely a good thing to pay it forward. So,
Absolutely.
communications, is there anything that you wanted to add to this, Brad?
One thing I'd like to add, I'd point out really quick that we have the City Leaders Academy. This is in April in Salina. And so anybody that's interested in going to And so anybody that has any interest in going to this, please get with Dawn. The other thing I'd like to add is they had a career day at the middle school. Well, they had a career day at the high school too, but they had a career day at the schools. And Dominic Greer went to career day, and we did get an email from one of the teachers that was there saying how much they enjoyed Dominic coming and speaking about what he does. He said he was really passionate about what he does and just how much they really enjoyed him being there. And so I thought it'd be nice to pass that on to everybody.
Thank you. That's good.
You stole my thunder, Brad.
No.
Dominic was in my classroom, and I said, if anything else that I got out of that is the true passion he has for this city and for what he does. And, it's kind of fun, him explaining everything he does, which is hard for 6th or 5th or 8th graders to fathom. And then he starts talking the sewer stuff, and he's like, yeah, there's some bad stuff. So it just,
They gotta do it.
you couldn't have a better ambassador for the city besides Dominic. It was fun to watch. So So I guess I'm putting that in my governing body comments. I have nothing else outside of that. So Dave,
I don't have anything.
Tom?
Yeah, a couple questions. Have we bought that new software for this city yet?
No, we have not. We haven't. I was going to wait till after the first of the year. We're gonna look at a couple of options that we have for that. If that's going through the regular RFP process or whether that's going through a kind of a, what do they call that? Yeah, it's kind of, it's like Sourcewell. It's, oh, there's a name for it. It's escaping me right now. But there's another process that we can go through on that. But we were going to look at that after the first of the year with this new fiscal year, but we have not
Okay.
moved forward on anything like that yet. I have an RFP in place just in case that's the way we want to go, but that's something that we were going to look at after the first of the year.
Thank you. One other question was I know we purchased a new TV.
Yep, I have it, I just need somebody to help me do it. I got everything. But I better.
Okay,
So hopefully this week, next week will be.
thank you. That's all I got.
Ryan?
Yeah, with that, we've been going over the budget sheets, the scheduled claim list. I just like to say that I think we need to revamp the way we kind of do traveling and possibly the mileage should only be used for people that are full-time. And then typically food and stuff, you have to be over 70 miles from your home residence, and it seems to be kind of a free-for-all from what I'm seeing. And I just think that we need to buckle down on how that is all handled by policy. To my knowledge, I don't think we have a lot of policy on that. Mileage, we have lots of vehicles. At any chance, we should be trying to take a city vehicle. And I mean, and again, I'm saying this because this is the way all the companies that I've ever worked for handle things like this. You can't put a Starbucks coffee on your credit card and bill it to the city because you're in Kansas City. So these type of things, typically you're going to have maybe we need to look at having per diem for traveling, but I really think from reviewing those that we need to really clean up on how we're handling traveling with the city.
Okay, yeah, we that's something that we could look at through the codification process. I know that there's going to be some updates to the personnel handbook that we want to look at as well, so we can look at it then. What I will say about the way that we handle the travel and training for the city of Hiawatha, I know especially if it's local, if it's like, say it's more like, say, for the League of Kansas Municipalities Conference, it's usually held in Wichita. And so when we go down, we normally get hotel rooms, things like that. And so we've always had the option, if it's held in Kansas City, someplace like that, to get hotel rooms as well. This year, if it's that close, I myself don't get a hotel room. I know it was a decision that was made among most of the people with the city that went to not get a hotel room. The mileage was handled a lot of us just carpooled together. We all went, I know we had 4 of us in one car, 2 of us in a different car down there. As far as the meals go, it's just anything that we have down there when we're on site. That's how those meals are handled. I mean, that's just the way that we do it now. We do try to be conscious of saving the city and not eating out extravagantly. We don't go to restaurants that are going to cost a lot of money. We do have a policy on that. It's what's called the GSA rates. And so you look up what those rates are for any town, and that tells you how much money you have per meal. It doesn't have an option in there for per diem. So if that's something that we'd like to do, we can definitely look at it at that time.
I don't know, like, if someone's just going to Kansas City to pick up supplies and stuff like that. I mean, the conference is a little bit different, but if you're just running to St. Joe or Kansas City to get something for the city, I don't think that justifies that the city picks up the tab for all your meals and everything. So, and I'm not saying anybody's done anything wrong. It just seems like when I go through that stuff, that there's a lot of stuff going on there that I think that is not typical. I travel with companies for the last 15 years, so I I just know how these businesses operate with stuff like that, and that's just not normal activity. It's not necessarily, it might be just the way we've always handled it, but I do think that we need to tighten up that portion of it and figure out a real policy on how we're going to do that moving forward.
I think that'd be a good idea. Is there a possibility we could have some workshops going over the personnel policies?
Yeah, we could do that. That is something that, in fact, going through our planning phase, I know there's going to be some minor changes we want to make to the personnel policy anyway. You know, that'd be a great time to talk about it. That is something that we could do in a workshop.
Sounds good.
Anything else, Brian?
Nope, I'm all good. Thank you.
Well,
I don't have anything. Thank you.
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moving second to adjourn. Don?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion passed 5-0.